we can classify lipoprotein in different ways. One of them is based on electrophoresis. On electrophoresis, we have actually chylomicron, beta, pre-beta, and alpha lipoprotein. Okay? And actually, it can be do on page. And the other way is based on their density, on centrifugation. As you know, the density is dependent on the lipid content or protein content. The density of lipoprotein is dependent on protein or lipids.
Lipids.
Protein. Okay? If the content of protein be high, they are high density. Okay? Protein actually is important for density. For example, here you can see high density lipoprotein have the highest amount of protein. And chylomicrons have the highest amount of lipid or triglycerides. Okay. And also here you can see the electrophoretic movement of lipoprotein. Here, actually alpha lipoprotein or HDL and VLDL are IDL in pre-beta and LDL in beta. They are actually a view of electrophoretic of plasma protein. As a medical doctor in the future, you will see a lot related to in this figure. A lot of diseases, for example, nephrotic syndrome, some kind of renal dysfunction, liver dysfunction can be detected by actually the amount of this protein. For example, if we have kidney dysfunction and albumin actually secreted by our kidney to the urine, the amount of albumin will decrease. For example, in some gamma globinopathy, which the rate of production of hemoglobin will decrease, this actually bond also, the surface area on this bond also is decreased. So this algorithm is so important for you, and knowing which kind of protein is in which bond. Here you can see the apoprotein of human lipoprotein. ApoA1 is the principal protein in HDL, and its activity is act as an activator of LCAT. Please memorize LCAT. LCAT, lysyl cholesterol osteotransferase. Then we have ApoA2 occurs as a dimer, mainly again in HDL, and somehow enhance the hepatic lipase activity. Hepatic lipase activity. ApoB48 is the main and actually apoprotein and only found in the chylomicron. Just we have a ApoB48 in chylomicron. And B100, principal apoprotein in LDL, and act as a ligand for LDL receptor. Actually, we studied all of them in previous semester, but we forgot everything. So the other apoprotein are C1, C2, and C3, E, and A. C1 found in chylomicron, VLDL, and HDL, and actually activate LCAT. C2, which is so important for us, again found in these three lipoprotein, and its activity is induction of LPL or lipoprotein lipase. We will hear a lot about this enzyme. Lipoprotein lipase, LPL. And finally, ApoD just formed in HDL, and it's also called cholesterol ester transfer protein or CETP. It has actually main function in reverse cholesterol transportation to the liver, and ApoE also found in all of these lipoproteins, and its activity is act as a ligand for LDL receptor. So they were characteristics and properties of apoproteins. Here again you can see the property related to diameters, which you don't need to know about their size, but as you can see here, chylomicrons are actually large particles and HDL are so small, tiny actually particles. And related to their function, here actually synthesized in the intestine, and activity is transported dietary lipids. The main apoprotein is ApoB48. VLDL, the site of VLDL synthesis is liver, and its function is transport of endogenous lipids or DH. ApoB100 and C and E are the main apoprotein. LDL formed in the blood circulation. Okay, the site of production of LDL is blood circulation from VLDL or IDL. And its activity is transporting cholesterol to the peripheral tissue. Just it has ApoB100. And finally, HDL synthesized in both liver and intestine. Okay, both liver and intestine. Its function is removal cholesterol from the peripheral tissue to the liver. Actually, in addition to reverse cholesterol transport, it's so important to providing apoprotein for chylomicron and VLDL. And the main apoprotein of HDL is apo what? A1, A2, HC. Which one? C. Why you actually forget There was a film, actually a movie, which that person after 1 to 2 minutes forget everything. It was 7. Have you seen that movie? You forgot to repeat the name of it. It was 7. Yeah, here you can see actually composition and properties of lipoprotein again. The first lipoprotein is important in transportation of exogenous lipids. It's known as a chylomicron. Chylomicron actually assemble in intestine. Okay? And then after assembling, they enter to the lymphatic systems. Okay? okay, after assembling in intestine, they don't transport by blood circulation to other peripheral tissue. First of all, they will go to the lymphatic system. Okay, all lipids actually go to the lymphatic system first of all. So this chylomicron, which is newly synthesized in the intestine, known as a nascent chylomicron. These two. Yes. Yes. I talked with them, but they actually search about other people. Nascent chylomicron. Actually, they contain ApoB48, but they don't have C2 and E. And as I mentioned before, we need apoprotein for activity of lipoprotein lipase. Lipoprotein lipase action is digestion of lipoprotein in blood circulation. For activity of lipoprotein lipase, we need one of those apoprotein, which is which one?
C2.
C2. C2. C2 is so important. But when nascent actually chylomicron is synthesized in intestine, doesn't have C2. He needs to get C2 from where? HDL. Again, as I mentioned, HDL acts as a provider of a protein for other lipoproteins. Here you can see the actually constituent of chylum and macron. For example, into 90% just is comprised from TG, triglyceride. 90%. Then we have actually lipoprotein less than 2%, phospholipid, cholesterol ester, and glucose. Its function is transporting directly TG to the other peripheral tissue, for example, lymphatic tissue and muscle. So, the pathway metabolism of chylomicron, please pay attention, because we will repeat it for other lipoprotein also. First of all, in the intestine, in our gut system, we synthesize chylomicron. They are known as a nascent chylomicron. Then, in the blood, actually, they receive apoprotein C2 and E from HDL. Then they become mature chylomicron. From nascent, they convert to the mature chylomicron. Then these chylomicron, because they have ApoC2, lipoprotein lipase, this guy with his teeth, is happy because it becomes activate and can digest mature chylomicron. When it digests chylomicron, actually it eats triglyceride and remove fatty acid to peripheral tissue. For example, if this tissue be adipose tissue, the lipid content of adipose tissue will increase. Or maybe it's heart tissue, or liver tissue, or other tissue. Okay? So, the most part of chylomicron, triglyceride, is removed and transported to the peripheral tissue. And what is remain known as a chylomicron remnant. Okay, chylomicron remnant. CR. This chylomicron remnant actually they have to go to the liver, uptake by liver, and provide lipid or fatty acid for endogenous synthesis of lipids. So, then, because they receive ApoE and C2 from HDL, they give back ApoC2 to HDL, but they retain ApoE. Because ApoE acts as a ligand for chylomicron remnant uptaken by liver. You got it?
So,
No?
so when it passes through the liver, it releases the ApoC2
Yeah, to the
and remains the
HDL.
ApoE.
Then, what's happened here? Again, we repeat. In intestine, chylomicron produced, okay? Just has an ApoB48, known as a chylomicron nascent. Then receive ApoC2 and E from HDL. It's become mature chylomicron. Here in peripheral tissue, we have lipoprotein lipase, which is binded to the endothelium of artery of this tissue. Okay, in endothelium, actually, it has actually some binding to the endothelium wall of this artery of tissue. Then lipoprotein lipase, because they have C2, and they activate and degrade them. What's happened after degradation? Chylomicron degraded, and their amount of lipids go to the tissue. And as you can see, its size become smaller and known as a chylomicron remnant. So it should go to the liver. First of all, it gives back ApoC2 to the HDL. Okay, HDL come here and receive ApoC2. Then this actually chylomicron remnant taken up by liver. We have a specific receptor which is known as the LDL receptor, which is specific for ApoE. For this reason, chylomicron needs ApoE. Chylomicron remnant. So again, you can see that what's happened for chylomicron in intestine. We synthesize chylomicron nascents by lymphatic system. They go to the peripheral tissue. In the blood circulation, they receive ApoC2 and E from HDL. Then they become chylomicron or mature chylomicron. Here we have lipoprotein lipase and receive fatty acid and also glycerol. Sorry. And ApoC, go back to the HDL and ApoE and B48. I don't know what's happening. ApoE and ApoB48 remain on the chylomicron, known as chylomicron remnant. Finally, it transfers to the liver. I need some water, sir.